Start with fire, add oil, let it simmer. From the crew at 58 Surf and Stab, this isn't just a podcast, it's a sensory experience. Fresh from the coast, full of flavor, and prepared to perfection. Well, kinda. This is 58 Surf and Turf. Let's get cooked.
All right, and we're live. People of 58 Surf Shop. I can barely hear you. Well, good. Never mind. Okay. We are here. We have Jon Pyzel, one of the best surfboard shapers in the world, with us tonight. There we go. Not the best of the microphones, but we're gonna figure that out, John. You're a hero in probably the worst month of swell, I would say, all year. What brings you the first one in June? What? What brings you to June, my friend?
Why am I here? God, I'm hearing so many echoes. The reason I'm here is just to kind of do a little visit. I've been in Europe for about 7 years. I used to come to Portugal twice a year for 2 weeks at least. So I spent like a month of the year in Portugal. And after COVID, I just haven't been back. And I just wanted to come back here. I love it here. And so we went through France, flew into France, visited some friends up there, visited some shops, had a few, like some talking about surfboards, different places, and then drove down here, a little 10-hour drive.
Easy.
Yeah, easy, 10-hour drive with my good friend Yuga. And yeah, here we are. So the waves are not great. It's been a little windy, for sure. It's not, but I'm not really on a surf trip.
I heard you touched the ocean in France, though. I got that idea.
We went to France, and all the guys that live there in Hossegor told us where to go surf. Sure. And we completely ignored them. Yeah, and drove around for like another hour, and then found some really shitty waves and went surf that.
Good work.
It was awesome. They laughed at us later. Yeah, it was sick. Shut up. Always listen to Nicky Picon and just go where he says. Don't go down the road, hoping it might be better.
Yeah, I think if you go to Hossegor and Nicky tells you where to be and you just go another way, it's a little bit on you there. It was a bad move. Anyway, how have you been to France in the last 7 years? It was the first time in Europe in 7 years.
All right, I haven't been anywhere over here for 7 years since COVID. I just stopped coming, and then it was just like, yeah, it was a bummer to not be here. And now I always think like Hawaii, it's so far to fly. It's like a big travel. It's 24 hours or 20 something hours. And it's always really daunting thinking like, oh, I got it. Like that's a mission. There are a lot of places that are a little closer, just living in Hawaii, everything's really far. Automatically you throw 5 or 6 hours onto any trip, just being there. So I've kind of been putting off coming here. And then once I got on the plane and I'm like, oh, I'm excited. Like, I love it over here. And so coming back was I'm glad I did. And I know that I'll be back next year and like, it's sick and I love it.
Well, lack of waves aside, what's been some of the best moments so far this trip? What have you enjoyed the most?
This has just been, I don't know, for the year,
For this trip.
well, this trip has been it's been really, I don't know, it's just nice reconnecting with people that I haven't seen in a long time. Like Alvaro at Pollen, like Alvaro's been my good friend for 25 years. And I've traveled all over the world with him and just done a lot of stuff. He's like family to me. And so like not seeing him in so long, I've seen him in Hawaii. We've had some short visits, but like not spending time with him it's been nice to hang out with him. And all my friends here that like I've just spent a lot of time with over the years. Yeah, and these guys have always been like so supportive and like they do such a great job of representing my band, like Pyzel here, and like what they do, the work they do. These guys do like they're some of the best like quality surfboards in the world. Yeah, and I look around a lot. And I know for sure, like, the work these guys do and, like, the way that they think about it and what they want to do it's like super high level. And so that's really cool to come back and like be reminded of that. And like, oh, these guys are doing such a great job, you know? And they even do stuff like, even like this is like, this is a big deal. Like, this is awesome. Having those people here and like setting this kind of thing up, I really appreciate. And like, this isn't typical of everywhere that I do, you know? Some things we do things at all different levels. This is pretty high level. It's nice. Yeah, it's like nice to get people here and like have like a little surfboard celebration or whatever you want to call it, you know?
For sure. Well, I can speak firsthand to the level of surfboards that they're building under your band here. One of my favorite boards I've ever had is a Pyzel Next Step. Got me some great visions this last winter, so thank you for designing that.
There you go.
And thank you guys at Pulling for making it.
That's awesome.
And I think a lot of people associate you so much with the North Shore of Oahu that you were born and raised in a different epicenter of surfing, which is Santa Barbara. Yeah. We're talking already about the early days for you.
Well, Santa Barbara is, I mean, everyone knows, like, they think of Santa Barbara, they think of Channel Islands, Al Merrick, obviously. There's a lot of before Al and even after Al, but I mean, Al still exists, but before Al, Santa Barbara has a really rich surfing history. I mean, throughout the years, like Manny Yater is one of the like original shapers in California. That's like just an amazing. It just has a real rich surfing culture.
Yeah, and we have really good potential for waves. Like, it's an amazing coastline.
It's the nicest thing I've ever heard anybody say about California. When you have really good potential.
Yeah, well, it is. It's like, if you look at the coastline, it's like point after point after point, but it's also like a sheltered area from swell. Yeah, and so you have this like mixture of like, it's kind of a tease, you know. You're like, oh my god, it's going to get so good, and it's like this big. So it's kind of a magical place, though. Like, so when the surf's good, it's world class, but that's like what took me away from that was like how inconsistent it is, and like I need to get more waves, you know. But just growing up there is like, it's a very like the surf culture itself, but just like even like learning, I don't know, Rincon is one of the more localized spots, not like violently localized, but just guys that are like devoted their lives to surfing that wave. Yeah, and just like a lot of waves around here. And when I was growing up, people were really protective of it, but like then as I was starting surfing, the older guys were protective of us. Like, we weren't just, you know, like you kind of have these older guys looking out for like the Groms against like the outsiders in a way, you know. And so I learned that a lot from that, where you guys like got the support. You still had to be respectful to the older guys, but they were going to look after you. But they taught you how to, you know, surf etiquette and like kind of how things work. And that I'm always super grateful for. And then I just, like I said, I had to move away from there just because I wanted to surf more. And I just kept, I'd go to Hawaii all the time. And I'm like, why don't I just live here? Like, there's always waves. The water's warm. Like, it's pretty magical. And it's not that far from where I grew up. It's easy to go home and visit or whatever. It's not like in the other side of the world.
Yeah.
So I ended up there.
Was there any like specific moment or trip where it clicked, or was it just over time you kept on going to Hawaii and we're like, all right, this is silly to have been surrounded by buff. Yeah, now this time I doorstep.
I can't remember exactly like thinking like, okay, this is it. But it was like, I mean, I think the first time I went to Hawaii, I was like 6 years old, you know, and I moved there when I was 23. So I've gone there a ton of times since that, and gone there on specifically on like surf trips, probably 4 or 5 times as I got older. And I guess just going there kind of like by myself when I was a teenager or a little bit older, I was just like, this place is great, you know. Like I don't know, I just like I just wanted to surf. It's really hard to like live somewhere where you can't always surf that much, and like months go by when it's flat.
Yeah. So you get there and you're building boards already, and I know at some point you were linked up with Jeff Bushman.
Well, I'll just go back a little bit. Is I wasn't building any boards. Like, I was just surfing. I didn't. You said about Hawaii. You weren't do anything in Santa Barbara. I wasn't building any boards, doing anything. Yeah. And so I started doing all that there. Like later on, yeah.
With Bushman?
I mean, I started like fixing dings. I wasn't, you don't just, it's not like today where you just become a shaper. Try the Instagram.
Okay, I got such up down, you're on your way.
Yeah. See this sick glass shot?
it was a slower process. I went there I saved up $1,000. I was painting houses. Like, I was getting work. I was actually in charge of like a painting company, and I hated it every day, waking up and just going like, I hate what I do. Yeah, I need to make money. So I saved up $1,000. I was sponsored by Rip Curl at the time, so I got like free stuff. I wasn't getting paid anything, but I got clothes and whatever. And I was sponsored by Hamish Graham, who made Burning Spears surfboards. Yeah. And I moved to Hawaii with 7 new boards, 1 Rip Curl duffel bag full of wetsuits and trunks and shit, and $1,000. And I'd already spent $400 to $1,000 by the time I made it to the North Shore. I bought a car for $400 from a rental company, like a used old rent-a-car. They're just trying to get it. I don't know how I figured that out. But so I did that, and then I had like a place to stay. Hamish knew a guy that was a lifeguard on the North Shore, and he's like, yeah, you could stay at this guy's house. He's all set up. He actually glassed too. He was a hot coater for Jack Reeves, like the famous glasser. And
We have lost transmission here.
oh, we're back. I was going into a rabbit hole out there anyways. But basically,
Once you were Jack Reeves, I think you were immediately in a different time zone.
Maybe I had a crisis stair, and I thought it was kind of like as long as I wanted. And really, after like 4 days, the guy's like, dude, you gotta get out. You're sitting in my living room. Like, get the fuck out. And so I figured it out really quick. I found a place to live. It was literally like a wooden shack. It was Simmons' tool shed in the backyard up in Pupukea. Yeah, I rented it for $200 a month. It was like an 8x8 plywood tool shed, and I ran an extension cord to the house and like had a little mini fridge in there, and they let me use the bathroom in the house. And that was it. That might actually be the best financial advice I've heard. Just build this plywood. There's shit in the back. Want to kill her out there? Yeah. So the where I got towards making boards from there was like, I needed work. I got a restaurant job where I barely worked at all, but I could eat and like barely make enough money to survive, and I could surf every day. And then I started breaking boards or dinging boards, whatever. When I break a board, I couldn't buy any board. I didn't have any money. So I'd go down to this factory, which is Country Surfboards. This guy, Ed Surfoss, right at Sunset Point. And he would let me fix my boards. I knew how to do ding repair. Like, I knew how to work with resin. And so I'd fix my own boards, and I'd pay him like for the materials. And pretty soon he's like, well, he's like, you're here all the time. Like, fix this board too. You know, like you do it pretty good with your boards. Like, why don't you fix these guys' boards? Yeah. So that was my job. I started fixing dings, and it just progressed from that. Like, eventually, it's a long story to that, but from ding repair to glassing to I was putting on thinning and hot coating, and eventually I shaped the board, and I became friends with Bushman through this time, and Bushman was making my guns. I started running out of boards, and like Bushy started making my boards through some friends of mine, and he kind of guided me into shaping basically. Well, it was a lot longer story than that story.
I'm sure. Well, when you say you've come a long way, specifically you've come far enough to watch one of your boards that you've been multiple world titles. What does that feel like? I mean, I know I wasn't a fan of the WSL top 5 format, but I'd have to imagine that when John won at Lawyers, being able to watch that moment, like I know he won actually in Portugal his first title, not even in the water from what I remember, but just being able to see one of your boards in that moment where it's make or break, do or die, 2 heats to get there, but still, coming from being a ding repair guy to just living that moment, describe that moment to me, I guess is my question.
Well, I mean, it's pretty surreal, to be honest, that watching that was a big one, because just like you said, personally, I hated that format. Yes, I thought that was silly. If you went, I really like the long form, where like you have to perform over the year in this variety and blah 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 blah, right? But to a point,
you have a month. You're thinking about the boards you're gonna make, and you have all this time to just look at 2 heats.
Yeah, It's pretty exciting. Like when you're at the beach to Trestles, I went the year before when John wasn't in the race for it, and it was still like, oh, that was radical. Like it was pretty exhilarating. It was pretty fun to watch, right? So from that perspective, I fully understand why they want to do it. But as a true surfer or whatever, it's like having someone have a good day, one way or the other. Steph Gilmore smoking the field, like that was sick. But like nothing for Chris Moore, you know what I mean? Like you won already, and then you get smoked. So that specifically seeing John win on that day was pretty cool, and I was with him before. Like we all came down there together. It was interesting because what you're like. This is the day, or like it's this whole thing where like. It's a very different feeling. It's not some crazy mathematical spreadsheetical where it's like and so does this and that. It's a whole different thing, and the emotions are different, and like everything's so important. Each heat is just like do or die, exactly like you said. But like we came down there and like we were at the house before and like waited, like watching these heats. Like we're literally watching it. Like here's what's going down. Like he's like kind of seeing, like figuring out who he's going to go up against, and watching us. Italo was kind of killing it. We're like, this guy's on fire, and then going down to the beach together. And like, I was with Nathan and Eli Olson, and like we walked down to the beach. It was pretty sick. Eli had just like Eli, I don't know if you know Eli, but like he's a badass. And like Eli's gnarly. He's a black belt. Like he's like a infinite man. And he had like a Hawaiian flag wrapped around. It was like we were like going into like a fight or something, like a boxing match. John wasn't with us. He was already there. But like all of us walked down together, and it was just like, it felt like we're in a movie or something. Like the crowd was like partying in front of Eli. Like it was pretty sick. And then that's very shitty if you lose after you kind of have that. But it was awesome. It turned out amazing. And just to see, I feel like that was the one wave on tour that people always like, if John's in the final, like he's not going to, whatever, like Italo's going to win, or so-and-so's going to win, or whatever it was. And it smashes into his, it was sick. That one turn that he did, and we're just like, that was amazing. So that was pretty special. And I feel like for him, he's never said this, but I feel like that was kind of for him too. It's not like, see, like he's not going to set it out, but like, I know that's how he felt. Yeah. Like you guys all talk, like, you don't think I'm going to do good in like a little head high soft dresses. And then having him do good was a nice little capper for him.
Yeah. But you don't have a crystal ball that you do have a very good relationship with that man. Putting you on the spot here, if you had to guess, will he or will he not ever come back to the tour full time?
People ask me that every day. I swear, it's so funny.
So you gotta know
the truth is I have no insight to that. Like I don't ask him. Like I don't care. He can do what he wants. So I don't go like, dude, what's your plan? But I just put it back to you. It was like, what would you do?
I mean, I think you've watched his edits lately. Choice in my mind is pretty good or relevant. I'm not going anywhere here, Matt.
Yeah, I mean,
all the markers videos, a log cut, a pipe, and unless it's all telemath up, but that's not it.
Yeah, I think he said it already. Pretty much is like he needs something to like you need motivation. Like to win a world title, you don't just do it. Like, I think I'll try it. I'll give it a little shot. Like you go all in. And it's like, you have to put shit aside. Like, you have to get selfish. And, like, he has a little kid that he's just, like, loves so much. His wife, he loves so much. Like, they have such a great thing going. And I think, like, to win another world title, like, he doesn't want to go back on tour just to be on tour. I know that. Like, he doesn't want to go get 12th, And so...
where does he need to in any way, shape, or form?
So I think that it's more of like he would have to have something like really there. Like the only thing I could really think of is that like Medina wins a 4th world title, and somehow to John that means like I gotta have 4 now. But I don't see that personally. But we'll see. I don't know. It's funny for me to watch the contest now. I'm like, it's kind of sad, like, it's like, not sad, like, there's good surfing, whatever, you're like, I just don't have, like, something I'm invested, I'm like, okay, that's cool, like, it's just different.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's not fair. I think it'd be tough. I can't imagine.
How do you do it? On this trip, one thing that I guess didn't surprise me, but somewhat surprised me, is that you've been shaping a lot. Like, you've actually been into shaping very literally making the boards that are being ordered here. How does the psychology change between making a board for John John or another well-titled Tyler Wright and making a board for a stranger that maybe you shook hands with briefly and then like this?
It's funny. It's like, yeah, obviously when you're trying to do boards for somebody that's like, all right, this guy has to win it. I'm trying to make someone win a contest, or I'm trying to fine tune something to up their performance or whatever that is. That's a real driving thing. And it's also a little bit of a, there's some pressure in that too. Obviously, you're like, I want things to work. And then the difference with making stuff for everyone else is that, like, it's a lot lower pressure and it's real enjoyable for me. Like, that's what I like doing. Like, yeah, it's like part of, it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm just a competitive surfboard shaper. Like, I just like surfboards, and for me to meet people and like have people come in and order boards, it was really nice for me to like, I like that connection with people. Sometimes having like such a big brand, like we have it, like it's a brand, right? But it's like, it's still just me. Like, it's a family business. And, like, I'm in my shop all the time. Why people walk into the off, like we have a retail space. I'll be in there talking to people and we come in and talk boards and whatever. Like, I do that all the time. And so that's not out of the ordinary for me. But then you come here and I'm doing the same thing. I'm just in different shops or different places. And, it's nice to talk to people because it's like, I get to see how stoked they're on boards, and like, it makes me feel good. Like, I love it. And I mean, it's kind of like almost greedy on me. I'm like, yeah, let's talk about my boards and like do this, whatever. But it's cool. And then if it makes people happy, like, that's awesome. Like, that's my job.
How would you say, like, because your job is not just knowing film into whatever shape you want it to look like. It's, you have to process through back and layers. You have to probably spend some time on the computer. You have to do a lot of things. What percentage of your time these days would you say, like, when you're working, like, you're actually, this is work, this is your job too. What percentage of your time would you actually say you're in the shaping, the making boards look the way you desire?
It just goes up and down. Like, there's days I don't shape at all, and there's days I shape all day, or there's all these different things. It's not like I do a lot of stuff. Like, I do a lot in our business. Like, I have a lot of people that do really good help for me that work for us, but I do a lot of stuff. I'm hands-on, and so there's a ton of stuff on the side that I do. And then jumping in the shaping room was like, just mostly like, I'm super busy in the wintertime where I'm doing a lot of team boards. I shape all my friends' boards, and I'm just constantly, for me, I like to be in the shaping room. I like to be doing new boards and messing with stuff. And that I have days where I don't shape, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to go in there tomorrow and do a bunch of boards. And just, it's not like I'm not in the shaping room every day.
Are you able to apply like any structure to it, or is it just kind of week by week?
Not just figure out when it's nervous. Like, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Yeah, like, I'm terrible. Like, people are like, hey, can we meet? Like, we need to have a phone call at 11 o'clock on Thursday. I'm just like, well, text me at 10 on Thursday and we'll see what's going on. I'm like, I'm terrible in that sense. But I do that on purpose. Like, I want to have freedom. Like, I want to go surfing. I want to have like, I've done a lot of work to be able to kind of have that structure, or the lack of structure. Yeah, that can kind of drive people crazy probably that are dealing with me. I have some people and like that work for me. There's like, dude, we have a Zoom meeting at 10 a.m. on every Tuesday. Like, are you going to be there? I'm just like, maybe we'll see. It's like, can you guys do it without me? Are you going to do it, Carrie? I try to keep it really loose, and I've done that for a long time.
Was it your call to go for the B Corp certification?
That was actually really driven by my wife, and my wife has had Dally's like, she's a huge part of our business. She's my partner. Like, I would say we wouldn't even be talking right now if I didn't have her as a partner. She's like helped us to create everything we've done, and lets me kind of be the guy that doesn't go to the meeting or doesn't show up on time and go surfing or whatever. Like, we signed a contract for our biggest licensee in the world besides ourselves. I just say that like is Australia, and like we negotiated a deal. The guy's from Jersey. He's in Australia now, but he's from Jersey. This guy Dave Tarantini. He's a reppin'. That we had to negotiate our contract with him. Like he was already doing loss. Like he was big. He was killing it already. So we already knew. And we met with him on the Gold Coast in our little apartment, looking out at Snapper, and the surf was firing. And I just were like, all right, you guys work it out. My wife and him, I'm like, you guys work it out. I'm gonna go surf, and when I come back, like whatever you figure out, like we'll sign whatever, you know. Like so, we did our whole biggest deal with me surfing and her negotiating the whole contract, and it's been a great deal. You picked a great partner, my friend. Yeah. So she's awesome. So she's super supportive. She's like she's the brains behind the operation, more or less. And the B Corp thing was her idea. Like she's really passionate about that. And it took a few years. Like we had one person specifically that worked for us that was pretty much her job, was to like jump through all these hoops and figure out what we needed to do. Yeah, get to that point. And we get like, people have given us a little bit of shit for that, where like, oh, B Corp, you make surfboards, like they're terrible for the environment and blah, blah, you know, all this stuff, which is absolutely 100% true. I agree with that wholeheartedly. But one thing we were talking about in the car on the drive, the 10-hour drive from France, was surfboards are shitty for the environment. We just try to do it a little less shitty. You know, that's our whole deal, is like, I'm not trying to claim we're doing anything amazing, but we do try to do a better job with that stuff than a typical company possibly. And then a lot of the stuff that if you look into like the B Corp stuff, a lot of it has to do with like how you treat your employees and like what you do for them. It's not just like it's not just an environmental thing. It's like a business, as like, are you a good business? Yeah. And like we have maybe definitely the only gosh shop in Hawaii that has like healthcare for my sanders and my guys that they're not even like real employees. They're like 1099, like, you know, the contract worker. Yeah. And we give them healthcare, and we have them, our minimum wage is $25. Like that's our starting wages for someone that works in our office or in our shop or whatever. Whereas Hawaii's minimum wage is $10 or maybe there. I don't know what it is, but so a lot of that I think stems from the way that like my wife's in charge of all this. We always have looked at like Patagonia as for the big picture of like how they treat their employees and what they do. And I'm not saying we're the Patagonia circle.
Yeah, my friend works there. He gets some budget every year to get a massage. He gets like a $500 massage stipend every year. You guys don't have that? Yeah, we getting there? We do have a guy that's on paternity leave right now, and he didn't have a baby. His wife did, but he's getting paid bigger. He's huge. It's pretty cool. But my point is, we just try to do a really good job, and that comes. My wife's always been like, hey, we're in Hawaii, like specifically from there where everything's so expensive, all this stuff. Like, hey, let's try to make sure that people that work for us can like afford to live here and have a living wage, and just do that. And so that's more where the B Corp kind of does stem from. And then the additional, the eco part of it is something that we strive for anyways. And that's just another part of the picture too. So we guys are trying to improve on that, but I absolutely admit we make surfboards that are terrible now. Where do you think the future of surfboard manufacturing is going? Like, is there any new material that excites you? Do you think we're just going to be endlessly touring with what a powerlifting or a potential expanded hard styling blank could look like? Where are we going from here?
What kind of surfboard do you ride?
Pyzel next up, my bummer.
Like what? How are your surfboards built? You know, where I'm gonna say 100. I can already tell you, PU, hand laminated, the same thing that we've been making for 50, 60 years. Am I right? More or less. No, that's it. Like you might throw around with a little EPS here. You got some board from whatever here and there, but like I guess your majority of your quiver is built like that.
You're guessing perfect, my friend. Yeah. You're right on the mark.
Yeah. So that's where everybody is. That's where all these people are. You know what I mean? Is like that's what people like. And for us as manufacturers, like making surfboards, it's really easy to make them that way. Like our whole industry is set up to make surfboards that way. When we try to go outside of that, it gets a little messy and it gets expensive and all these things happen. And until people are willing to just go like, hey, I don't care how much this board costs, I'll pay twice as much. I want it to be super eco-friendly. I want it to be whatever it is. We haven't found the solution is my point. And that solution at this point, anything that's really moving in that direction is really expensive. And it's also kind of, it might not work that good. It's not that simple. It's not like just making this surfboard material overnight. But I've seen stuff, like people come to me all the time. Hey, I did this. And like that's great. Like Polyola, those guys like have great ideas. Like that stuff that's like, hey, let's do it. How I heard John like the bullets too. Well, but are you ready? Like, look at the racks in here. Like, they're all like bright white, shiny boards. Are we all ready to ride brown surfboards? That's it's literally like these crazy things where people aren't willing to. They want to do good, but they're not ready to give in. Like, they want the shiny white board. They don't want the old looking. Like, I made some boards on Polyola. They look like they're 12 years old and they've been left in the sun the whole time.
Just tear on 24-inch brays and pretend that you were Laura. Yeah. Just get out and go. So I got in 6'2" with 6 inches of rocker.
Yeah. My point is just that, like, there are options that we can go to that they haven't. Nothing's like grabbed the whole world, and most of it has to be built like cost-wise to make it like even attainable. Has to be built in Asia or somewhere else. And then by the time you ship those and pack them and wrap them in plastic and put them on a boat and use the gas and all the shit you do to do that, by the time they get there, they're already going like on the other side of negative. You know, they're not like a positive, they're going negative with what they're doing, more or less. And so until we can figure something that we can build thousands of surfboards consistently that feel good and look good and all that, and that is a better route than what we're doing, we're not going to change.
Okay. This question's a bit more nuanced.
One other point on that, just because I'd really love to say this because people don't get it, is that a lot of the eco-friendly boards, like they're labeled sustainable or whatever it is, right? Sustainable surf, whatever they are. If you look at that stuff, 99% of it has EPS blanks, and then they use like a flyover symbol on it, and they'll, right? EPS, that stuff, if you look at it, it takes 500 years to biodegrade. Like epoxy blanks, the EPS cores, it's a 500-year. That thing's gonna look the same in 499 years as it does today.
That's great. We just put EPS insulation on my house, and the beads are everywhere. That's because they're rather, don't worry, in the yard forever. There's a good time to start a garden, I guess.
It's the regular blank, like a normal board. If it breaks in half, whatever, that stuff would biodegrade. I don't know what sort of ratio is that. I know it's a lot better, but anyways, there's claims of like, it's just bullshit.
Fair enough. This question's a bit more nuanced. I can't help my house stuff though. Stammerak X, won by Dan Man of Firewire. Stammerak with Eden Earring, won by Hidden Ships. Those guys primarily produce boards in Thailand. At the same time, Cobra bought, I think your friend's phone company, Arctic. What do you know what that means? I'm not sure if anybody has the answer for this yet, but it just seems like there's a lot happening at once when it comes to Asian manufacturing, let's say.
I think the thing is with us is like, there's nothing wrong with Asia. Like, there's nothing wrong with building a board in Asia, right? It's just a matter of like, what are the materials? I'm just talking about materials, basically, with that stuff. What are the materials? Where are you shipping stuff? How many are you doing? Like, how does it get there? You know, you forget, like, it doesn't just exist. The one thing that I've loved that we've done forever is we have our system is a licensee thing where those boards that are here, they were built. They were built an hour away down to the side. But they had to ship the blanks here. They had to do a lot of stuff. It's not like that. I think that like Cobra, they make some of the best surfboards. Like the quality of that factory is unbelievable. Like it's not. There's no question about stuff like that. There's just this top quality stuff. It's just a matter of what is. I don't know. I feel like the whole perception is really changing. That people are less. I feel like people are getting further removed from where their surfboard came from. Like it used to be like, I talked to everybody that I made a board for, right? Like, so like I knew everyone that rode my boards for a long time, right? Like I made every board for that guy, and further from that as we grew bigger and bigger, and then we got licensed out. So now there's boards being made that I don't even touch or see sometimes, right? That people, customers, I feel like have changed their perception where like, it used to be like everyone wanted to order a board from their shaper or they wanted a custom order, whatever it is. People have become used to stock boards because we do a really good job. Like when I say we, I mean like all the surfboard builders, all the guys, all the companies do a great job of making stock boards that like suit a lot of people. They're high quality. Like you're not going to buy a board off a rack generally from like a well-known company, and it's not going to be a piece of shit. Right? It's going to be like a good board. Yeah, at least at different levels. And so I think people have become it's less important to have like, oh, I got this board made for me, these measurements. Like they're just like, oh, I can buy this size. It's like, it's changed the perception of like what you need. And so I think that works well for the Asian built boards because those are all stock size. And there's just it's a different thing. They can't just make a one-off board. Like if you want to, whatever Firewire board, you can't order. I mean, I don't know what their program is, but I'm just going to say in general, you can't go like, oh, I want the mashed potato or whatever it is, and like, but I want it a 1/4 inch narrower and a 1/2 inch thinner. Like they're just going to go like, sorry, you got the mashed potato, you get, but you're just with a slop on the plate. Yeah. No, I love Dan Man, and I know it's really called a sweet potato. I was just fucking with him, but yeah, we're a mashed potato. We're stupid, man.
Better than Firebird, which is where I think Andy got all those birds. Anyway, quick estimate here. How many boards have you made in your life? Don't have to think too deep.
No, that's it. I stopped counting. Like I used to hand shape, right? Like so I started shaping. I was hand shaping. And I wrote down every board, and after like 1,000 boards of hand shaping, I stopped writing it down. And since then, like I had no idea. I'm like, I just don't even keep track. I have no clue.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway, you know what I mean? Like,
it does matter from the next question a little, okay? I know it's like comfortably in the 5 figures in terms of boards that you've touched personally, right?
yeah.
Okay. What kind of wax do you use? As a man who's just personally touched tens of thousands of surfboards with his own hands, what kind of wax do you use?
What kind of wax?
Yeah, sex wax, obviously. What are you using for your red?
I think sex wax is from Santa Barbara. It's here.
Yeah, that's maybe how they got her.
It's the Cup and Truer. Yeah. So sex wax, quick humps.
With no offense to Ep.1 Brazil here, I was very happy it didn't say true. I didn't know you touched so many boards. I use sex wax myself.
Furax just like I'm not wearing a wetsuit. You just be here for months. So it's like sticking to you and you're getting all weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of greasy almost.
Yeah, I feel it.
All my team guys love that stuff. Like John, all this, they all love that. Oh, you gotta have a little Fura in the top, just to.
But your sex wax red through and through on the shore.
Red?
Huh?
Red? What color? I think it's purple, whatever that tropical, like.
Oh, they're one lower than red. Okay, interesting. 2 more questions for you.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask one, and then we're gonna ask the inverse of it, which would be a nice way to end, I think. You're about to go spend 2 months in Indo.
Say again?
You're about to go spend 2 months in India, I believe, right?
Yes.
If I told you I'd pay for everything,
At least 2 months.
At least 2 months. I'm going to pay for everything, invite your friends, invite your family, whatever, that the only stipulation is you cannot ride one of your own surfboards. What would you ride? You could say one board, you could say one shortboard, you could say a couple that come to mind.
I would ride like some sick twin fin of somebody's probably. I don't know.
Am I?
No, those are too chunky in the rail. I don't know. I'd probably have like a. I don't really know like everybody's little thing, but I just love a twin fin in India. It's just like you can just. Everything's like so lined up and down the line. It's so fun. I don't know a specific brand. I'd probably be like some weird dude that doesn't make a bunch of boards or something. I don't know. I'd have to find somebody.
Try something during? Would you try birch?
Yeah, no. Like, dude, the guy's sick. I work with that guy. That his boards are just too. I don't like ASIMs at all. And not because when I say I don't like, it doesn't mean like I've ridden them or I don't like them. I just can't look at them like
It's about unintentional ASIMs.
yeah, I've made a lot of every board is an unintentional ASIM of some degree.
All right. Well, my last question was, what will you ride then in those months to right? What models?
So my twin fins, one of my favorites over there is it's called the Wildcat. It's kind of a narrow nose, not super wide nose twin. It's not like a fishy twin fin. It's more like an old school performance twin, and it's got a little wing, a little double wing and a single wing pin and channels. It's got a little channel bottom. It's pretty sick. So that's good too. Super fun. And then the other board would be my Tiger Twin, which is like a newer one we've been doing. And that's not a traditional twin. It's a 2+1. So it's like a twin plus chair. And that board's very fun too. I had one of those last year. The one I had was a little chunky, but I made a little more refined one. Those are super, just for the day-to-day, those are pretty sick over there.
Yeah.
Just in like those lined up long waves, yeah.
That's what it goes then for.
Super fun.
Nice. Well, that's all I have for you, John. You are not done talking yet. You're going to do a little bit of bird talk. We're going to take a quick break.
Thanks for doing this, you guys. 58 too. It's awesome.
John Florence and Jon Pyzel.